Hi everyone, before the video begins I just want to say really quickly, thank you so much for all the new subscribers recently. If you haven't noticed, one of the videos on my channel has blown the fuck up and it's insane. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently. My subscribers have increased a fuck ton and I appreciate every one of you who has subscribed. It means the world to me. So thank you. Also, the footage for this video was about an hour long, even edited down. So I split the video up into multiple parts. If you want to see the next part, please hit the like, write a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, on with the video.
Why don't you try and start speedrunning Miles Morales and finish it in like 15 minutes?
Because I don't want to play it for any more than twice. The main reason why I played it for a second time is because I wanted the platinum trophy. Like I already I can like do all the fucking missions and shit super quickly because I remember how to fucking do them. There's no enjoyment out of that. Like I had fun, but
Pussy?
Bro, I'm not gonna know what to play tomorrow after fucking finishing Modern Warfare.
do DLC weapons.
Absolutely destroyed.
I mean, maybe. I might do it eventually, but I'm fucking sick of leveling shit up for a while.
Bro, Minecraft Dungeons was pissing me off. Basically, there's this mission, right, where you can sacrifice items and stuff, like weapons and armor, to get, like, a dungeon that you can loot. And in the dungeon, you can collect gold bars, which you can use to trade for one specific merchant, who gives you, specific stuff. Like, you can get some, like, godlike fucking, like, armor and weapons and shit from him. But also, like, the whole way to get items out of that dungeon is by doing boss fights. And the first boss fight was kind of difficult, but I got it done and I got some decent armor out of it. But all the other ones were like instantly killing me. There was one where the boss was a spider that spawned enchanted creepers. And what a spider does is it webs you up so you can't move. And enchanted creepers are basically like charged creepers, but on steroids. And their health is too big to kill, and if you get too close to them, they'll instantly blow up and just like insta-kill you. Especially for the fact that I was webbed up as well, so it was like if I went anywhere near the fucking boss, I would just get insta-killed by it, so it was not fun. And then all the other bosses were just like way too difficult, and I wasted like a lot of good items for it. That reminds me of the story. So basically my uncle came around to my house when I was younger. Because he wanted to come for the Spring Comic Con, and he gave me the gay potion.
So I was at KFC,
I'm
and I
gonna
saw a
fucking
job,
die.
and they were doing headstands like on like the display table, right? You know, with like all the cookies and everything, all that shit, yeah. They were doing headstands on there, and he broke through it, and Josh's head, like while they were spinning, it drilled into the center of the earth, and I saw molten core collide with Josh's forehead. And he drilled right to the bottom all the way so it like went directly through. Like someone just put their finger through the whole world. And now that's why babies are born, because they come from that hole that Josh created.
You should be a history teacher.
I know, sure.
Oh, did you know that apparently cowboys didn't actually exist?
Did they not? So true.
Historians.
Oh yeah.
Apparently cowboys were just, the name cowboy came from the Spanish name for cowherders. There weren't very many gunslingers, and the cowboys versus Indians wasn't actually cowboys versus Indians, it was like, the US government and like US soldiers versus the Indians, basically. It wasn't like the people dressed up in blue. There wasn't very many gunslinger cowboys actually out there, and it was Hollywood that created the idea of the cowboy gunslinger outlaw. And then what Italy did was Italy made the fucking movie about Clint Eastwood. That's it. And yeah, Clint Eastwood was like a super badass fucking idea of a cowboy that wasn't accurate like at all to history, because it was made by the Italians. but they just saw the idea that the Americans were making westerns and they liked it, so they made it really badass. So yeah, cowboys didn't actually exist, or at least if they did, there was very, very few of them, very rare gunslinger cowboys, and they weren't like outlaws or all. They just herded cows.
Wow. Jacob,
Yeah.
What's that spam going?
why won't you fight Ryan on Chivalry? Are you afraid of him?
Basically, when I was younger,
Oh, fuck off. Never mind. I'm not asking you anything anymore. Shut up. Go on. Is it the gay potion or the uncle shit?
Get wrecked!
when I was younger, there was like a birthday party that I went to
Uh-huh.
with it was at this place called Junction 21, and it was called that because it was near the train station, but it was like this playground. It was like an inflatable soft. They had like a ball pit, and they had like fucking bouncy castle and shit like that, right? So I was there, and there was this kid. I was there for my birthday, right? It was like a birthday party, and
I'm trying to concentrate.
it's a great place for birthday parties because they do like the place actually provides like the party bags and shit like that for kids, because you know kids don't want to go to birthdays unless they have party bags afterwards.
Sure.
And I was like I was in the like climbing frame thing above. It was like a floor above the ball pit, and I met this kid, and he was like, "It's my birthday today," and I was like, "What? How does that make any sense? It's my birthday today." So confused. I didn't understand the concept that, you know, two people can have the same birthday. I didn't understand. And I was basically just like having an argument with him. I was like, "No, it's my birthday." And he was like, "No, it's my birthday." And I was like, "No, it's my birthday." And then I went, no. Basically we were like, "Oh, it's time." Everyone, they shouted our names, my name, and I was like, "Oh, it's time for the cake." And I had this fucking sick Lightning McQueen cake. It was fucking awesome. Like, it was literally like the cake was a car with that looked like Lightning McQueen. You cut off his fucking like wheels and shit, and you could eat him. And basically I sat down, had some cake, and this kid was at another table, and he went up to me, and he said, "Oh yeah, I asked my mum. Apparently it's both of our birthdays today." And I was like, "Oh, that can happen?" He was like, "Yeah, that's crazy." Yeah, and that's all I remember from that day. It doesn't answer the question about chivalry, but yeah.
That kinda reminds me
Oh, go on.
about that time when I went into court and I ended up in another dimension.
Ryan,
Oh, yeah.
the story I told wasn't a joke. It was like that actually happened.
Yeah, I know. Mine's not a joke neither.
Yeah, Ryan's
Okay.
actually, are you trying to shit talk Ryan's story?
I'm sorry, carry on.
Honestly. Right, so I went up to court there because I got charged for type 2 diabetes with manslaughter.
Alright, not bad, not bad.
Okay, it
And I'm
doesn't
like,
make sense.
Oh, I don't belong here, so I tried to hide in the toilet, right? And before long, I started hearing warped noises from outside, like
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
Like zombies.
Yeah, like zombies. And I look outside, and everything is like a white padded cell. And I'm like,
Oh shit.
where am I?
It's like an insane asylum.
Exactly.
It's like
I
you're meant to be there.
opened the door. Yeah, but then I opened the door, and I end up in this warped reality with big black guys with their wieners hanging out all over the prison. It's like a prison mixed with an insane asylum. And then before long, I started seeing Luna 6. He appeared to me many times. In the shower, I tried to sneak past them all, but they noticed me. And they called me by my name, but I ran far and far away, and this is how I ended up in this dimension. I am actually from a different time.
Bro, the story at the start was reminding me of like when I was younger and my dad used to like tell us bedtime stories, and it was called like the Nighttime Gang or some shit like that. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like he would tell stories with us in it, and we would like give him prompts of like what he should say. Like we would ask for like which characters we wanted to be in the story. And the way you were telling it sounded like when my dad used to fucking tell the bedtime stories, but then you were just like, and then I got sucked into this dimension with a big bunch of black guys with their wangs out, and I was like, oh. So, okay, maybe it's not.
Luna 6.
you want to hear another fucking story? That's actually a legit story. It's not. It's actually a legit story. It's not a fake one.
You do realise by saying this, it's making me think it's gonna be a fake story.
No, genuinely. Okay, so basically, I'm in reception, right, which is like the year before the first year. Like it's the first year I go into school, right? I'm like a toddler out of nursery going into school, yeah. And basically, we're like in playtime, right? And there's a bunch of people playing outside. There's a little like area outside the classroom that you can like ride around on bikes, and there's like the fucking bouncy, what they call like Zorb balls or whatever. We also had trays where we kept our stuff, and each person had a tray, and it's basically like a little drawer where you can keep your like book bag and stuff like that. And I went outside and I saw a group of like 3 girls, and they had this is where it becomes a fucking story. No, I'm joking. They have their drawer like out of the like cabinet thing that's supposed to be in outside, and they're putting a bunch of leaves in it, and I'm like, surely that's not like allowed. I know what they're doing is they're filling it up with water. They're filling it up with water. And I'm like, no way you're allowed to do that. So I'm like, I tell them, I'm like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. And they're just like, yeah, we are. We're allowed to. And I was like, that's some bullshit. And then they fucking start getting, like, grabbing leaves and stuff and, like, mixing them into the tray. And I'm like, that's going to be a mess to clean up. Like, they're not supposed to fucking do that. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to take matters into my own hands because these people are not obeying the law, right? I'm going to be the moral person. I'm going to be morally right, and I'm going to fucking stop these cunts from doing the wrong thing. So I take the tray, I pick it up and I throw it. So all the shit like falls out of it. And then they go complain to the teacher. And I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong. This teacher comes up to me and she's like, did you do this? Right? Pointing at the fucking tray. And in this situation, I'm a bit dull, right? I'm a 4-year-old, I don't really know what's going on, right? I think, when she points to the tray, I think, well, obviously I did the right thing, and they were the ones doing the wrong thing, right? And she's asking me, did I do that, right? So I assume she's talking about, did I put the water and the leaves in the tray? And I was like, no. Because I didn't put the water and the leaves in the tray. I stopped that from happening. And she was just like, alright, that's it. You get to sit out in the corner. And I got the, like, time out for the rest of the fucking playtime. Because what she was actually asking is, did I throw the thing? Because apparently I was in the wrong for throwing it. Even though I was taking matters into my own hands, I was doing the right thing in my opinion. And she didn't actually explain what the fuck I was, like, she was pointing at, and she was just baiting me out. She knew that, she knew actually who threw the fucking thing. She knew who put the fucking water and leaves in it. But she was just trying to bait me out to see if I was gonna lie. To punish me for it. Turns out I wasn't actually lying. I just didn't know any better. Yeah, and then I got time out for the rest of the day, and that's like one of my oldest memories from when I was little. That I've retained. It's the fucking some bullshit. That teacher was being a prick. And they should have fucking let me off, or at least explained the fucking stuff better. Because they're acting like I'm a twit. They're just like, what is that? It's like. I'm not a fucking psychic, mate. You need to explain it a bit better than that. I'm a fucking 4-year-old.
So you stuck it to a teacher and it became a fucking story.
So it becomes a fucking story about 17 years later.
Please don't.
17 years later, which is about 4 years from now, I meet a girl.
No.
And she introduces me to a man. Named Lil Nas X, right? And this man, he's pretty cool. I've heard his music before. I'm a fan. What can I say? And I'm really excited to meet him. And this girl that introduces me to them is like, oh yeah, Lil Nas X wants to invite you to this party. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll go along with it. You know, it's Lil Nas X. Like, what the fuck? Like, why? Who wouldn't do that in the right mind? And then at the party, I meet a girl. Turns out.
That kind of reminds me of a story.
Turns out, wait, listen. Turns out the girl isn't a girl. It's Joshua in a wig. He's infiltrated the party. and he's here to fuck me.
Stop fucking singing stories now, Jesus.
Can I say a story?
Yeah, go on, man.
Alright. So...
I wanna